Parinirvana anniversary of third General Kundalini. And we've been performing a special puja since April 20. And on this occasion, Drupon Khenpo is available to teach internationally. And we are very, very happy. And we choose a special topic, which is calling Lama from afar by the Lodro, which is very precious, text, which you all know, and especially it's very practical for the day-to-day life. And we hope that everyone will enjoy teaching from Khenpo. And this is the second time the regular series online teaching. And we are so happy that again, the same team, the translator group, and the technical supports are available to help us, which is very, very grateful for us. Thank you again that you all giving this precious time to translate for Drupon Khenpo, and definitely that will be a great benefit for all the students in West and East, for everyone. Thank you very much.
So if all the recorders make sure that they're recording, and I'm going to now share the prayers for us all to join in.
Lama Karma Pa Kyungro Gungi Jungne Sishi Burgiri Dam Nanjurama
Chile Kungi Jibo, Ongu Chugyon, Virgin Chamberla, Nanjor Tiji, Gube, the Tani, Tuji, Kyora, Tabo Samjan Tom, Chigi, Lochuto Dora, Zingi, Lotus, Chulam Dora, Zingi, Lotus, Lam Truba Sora, Zingi, Lotus, Truba Yeshe, Chora, Zingi, Lotus. 라스다 상마라 정말 프레시들의 쇼당 잡지 전에 어레 당부 프레시들의 쇼전들
To begin with, I wish you all a hearty Tashi Delek.
네, 마기로 넘게 타다니 베스음진 탐제 코와 등은기 갸솔에 탈때 넘긴 나나메 베고방 담발라 거버차 대치도 담베치라 최섬 곰순기 권에 주부르교 인연배 공농 장치 초도 투게 버설 답네 담베시 선버쇼.
Please vividly arouse the pure motivation of bodhicitta, the mind of awakening that resolves to establish all beings, our mothers, infinite as space, on the unsurpassed level of omniscience, having traversed the ocean of suffering that is samsara, and to do so, engage in listening, contemplating, and meditating on the genuine Dharma.
데라 강sem버제 치기림바 네 정글루르 타이기 숭 라마 경부 기설데 무비 닝기 설데.
Of all the possible topics of Dharma to which we could be listening, our topic is the supplication prayer known as calling the Guru from afar, devotion that pierces the heart, composed by Jangan Kuntrul Lodro.
라스타 드링디 에니다기 김부치기기 모베시 나와나시 네 정근은 것이 정근 구증숨바 로드 추기 생기 초기 애니 공도 순주바래 어디기 때문에 주제당 뜨네 그래서 라마 경부 이 선대 디 토라 아니 대세계기 아니 고디 제브레 어디인자더니 이제 개버지 남의 공도디 말한서 소사 두장 제하게 되니 이제 개버지래 디값들이 대당 춤바다 아니 라마 경부 이 선대블라 최섬 제야디 최섬 kumsum 제야디 아니 하장기다 텐데 상보담 가고 상보.
These teachings are offered on the solemn occasion of the 30th anniversary of the parinirvana of the third Jangan controlled Rinpoche. And at this time, to look at the Guru yoga practice, the Guru devotion practice of calling the Guru from afar is an incredibly wonderful way of purifying obscurations and gathering the accumulations. So when we are uniting both this wonderful occasion and this wonderful practice, it is particularly excellent auspiciousness and synchronicity for listening, contemplating, and meditating on calling the Guru from afar.
Hola. Tene da ngato lama gyangbe di tene ngato lama nanjor. Lama gyangbe ki sundeb di tene lama nanjor re. Tene da tene lama nanjor ki ningbo di
냠닝기 닝보디드니 무구이래 어디 인자들이 드링다 rumbuche 정구 rumbuche기드니 공소급수 시야디 애니 텐들 켜버지 이미 김생가를라나 정구 rumbuche기다 연진 섬김이 켜버여래 만서디 상마 대세 겹투고 말해 만서 또야 투고 말해 이내 양다 나랑서 정구 rumbuche 애니 유rum보 대야기 고급 라와래 디인자들이 나랑서기드니 rumbuche기 연진 잘와디 무슨 저한테 그래요를 남는 rumbuche디 미페 시가 정보 되네 심제라 페 제와 정보 아니 라마라 무기 정보 연된 디숨디 아니 rumbuchegi 니마르레기 쫄람나라 제 무슨 제야 디인데니 된대기 캐주 숨쟁기 라마제 힘바디 아니 디급수 유기기 미 상마다 점근을 이제 제용에 상마하게 되니 다 아니 양직 나직 양직 전에더니 세계에마도 가시기 뒤 가시기 뒤 많이 생겨요 말에 상하게 되니 다 정부름 제정에 상하게 되니 양직도 세계래 근데 나서 양무수 제정하래 어디 애니 좀 저기 계셔래 뒤인자들이 좀 붙이디 아니 공기 라마 아니 깔마바 꾸tin 주주보여글라 상경의 두시 영경이 라마래 근데 딘데 두시 예버데는 식담 송샤바 많이 봐 공기 남터나는 것을 제야 예버래 어디니 인자들이 공기 아니 공조되라 들어가서 라면 난줄 걸라 시야디 드네 디금 생기양 딘데 상부에 섬겨 어느 공능신기더니 라마라 먹이디 있는 건지 길라양 계획이 딘데 상부에 섬어요
When we consider this text, this practice of calling the guru from afar, it is a practice of guru yoga. And when we look at guru yoga, the essential essence, the very heart of the guru yoga practice is devotion, the respectful gratitude we have for the Lama. So today we have this extraordinary synchronicity, the auspicious connection for connecting with the Guru, Jangam Rinpoche, in this way. When we think about it, the qualities, the excellent qualities of Jangam Rinpoche are incomprehensible. They are more than the mind can encompass. So it's not something that we can explain. It's not something that we could even understand, all of the excellent qualities of Jangam Rinpoche. So even if we had an incredibly long time to do so, we wouldn't be able to encompass them in words. Nevertheless, these excellent qualities can be expressed by means of three main qualities of Jangam Rinpoche: his forthright straightforwardness, his incredible devotion unto the Lama, his own guru, and his loving kindness and compassion for sentient beings. By connecting with these three qualities of Jangam Rinpoche, it is like we are meeting Jangam Rinpoche directly. So when we consider all of these excellent qualities of Jangam Rinpoche, we can say that they're all encapsulated in these qualities. And by connecting with them in this way, through the same kind of devotion that Jangam Rinpoche had for his own guru, Rigpe Dorje, the 16th Karmapa, in a way that is not mere words, just as Jangam Rinpoche himself did in his own life, then that is like meeting the guru directly, meeting Jangam Rinpoche in person. So for these reasons, I personally think that this is an excellent auspicious connection and time to do this when we are commemorating the 30th anniversary of Jangren Rinpoche III's parinirvana. And it is a wonderful auspicious synchronicity for developing in our own mind streams devotion to the Guru.
Hola. Da ini nganso tenda lama kyangbe gi sonje di teni lamye nanjur ki nyamne de tin da teni lamye nanjur gi nyamne di teni chidang da nganso o sangagi chwe di teni hajangi samoro tin de teni gyawa go sangbe songare 택배 터도 상하인 상하 닝부 묘귀인 성래 택바 탐적이 터투바디 상하래 성래 상하기 닝부디 거르라는 묘귀래 성래 묘귀 람기 직투비인 성래 진리다수 드니 묘귀디 람기 상하기 닝보래 아니 묘기 상하기 닝보디 묘기래 묘기 람기 직투베스 람기 직투베스디다 람라 냠냉기 차시 방고여라 어디 상마기 낭라드니 묘기디 그거래 변năng 먼저 메인 커브 직투야지 여러 메인 커브 직투디 네 상말을 팽기래 메인 찍모도 요머리 이는 네 거래라이네 상말을 팽기래 될 메인 커브 직투라 그래 배 디나신디네 먹이디 디는 찍어래서 변năng 상하기 냠낸 것이다 체림 못한 거나 아니 제가매 검거라 이 라마당 모열매도 검거라 진짜더니 먹이 거기도 어찌 나시 상하기 람 디러다 남바 망고여라 남바 망고디 상마드니 먹이를 때니 람도 제거라마도 먹이 매버더니 람도 제야요 말에 어디네 인자 드니 먹이여나 람기 남바 탐지 상하기 람기 남바 탐지 열에 먹이 매나 람기 남바 거야요 말에 인자드니 먹이디 람기 직투브래서
This supplication, which is a practice of Guru Yoga, is something that we encounter in the path of secret mantra or the Tantrayana. Guru Yoga is a feature of the secret mantra path that is extremely profound. It is very subtle and profound, and it is said that of all the vehicles, the ultimate approach is secret mantra. And when we consider secret mantra, its heart essence is devotion. So you could say that devotion is the heart essence of the ultimate intent of all the vehicles of Buddha Dharma. It is like the essential piece that allows us to engage the Dharma. It is what allows us to penetrate to the Dharma in all of the vehicles. How is that? It's like if we have a particular talisman or a keystone that allows us to engage in all of the various practices of the Dharma. For example, it is said that by cultivating patience, one is able to attain longevity. By developing a sense of indivisibility from the Guru, one is able to effect Guru devotion. But for all of these practices, the essential element is devotion. Devotion means respectful gratitude. This respectful gratitude is the core, the keystone of all the various aspects of practice. There are many different features of practice, many different layers to the path, but all of them depend on devotion as the keystone. So if we have this devotion, respectful gratitude, we have the entryway to all aspects of the path, whereas without devotion, we do not have that access at all.
Hola. Tiene o Dinde ngazo sangagi lam di nyurbo yimbadi any sangagi lamgi nyingbo mugu yimbi kimsende so. Dinde mugu di sangagi lamgi nyingboro. Tene yangna sangagi lamgi so senedigro. O dinde sangagi lamgi so tabuam nyingbo tabudi mugu la jena. Tene sangagi lamdi nyurbo chagor mado ani mugu mena sangagi lamdi nayam nyurbo yongu mare so ni da sangagi lam debu sangi goban thobala nyurbe khechedi mugu la tene jomare so.
The reason for this is, as stated before, that devotion, respectful gratitude, is the heart essence of the path of secret mantra. You could say it is the heart essence, the very core, or even the life force, the lifeblood of the path of secret mantra. This is the importance of devotion, so that without devotion, without the respectful gratitude constituting devotion, there is no way to penetrate to the path of secret mantra. In other words, there would be no way to access the feature of secret mantra of swiftly traversing the path to enlightenment.
Hola. Dinde da mugu di sangagi lamgi nyingbo yimbe kimsende karare islamna mugu la tene ani sange tham chegi chinlap lama la tene manju gyula chuktu gore tin digo sutene lam nyurbo chawa kimsende re tende insan tene kadam be lama namgi sumbare chinlap ge tawa mugu yin sum mugu di chinlap ge tawa re sum chinlap ge lam sonde be yin sum tene sange tham che ge chinlap lama la tene rang la chupati tawa mugu re any tablam sonde re sum Odin da dine sonde di chinlap chuwe gi lam re mugu di chinlap chupe tawa res.
Why is it that devotion is the very heart essence of the path of secret mantra? It is because based on devotion, we are able to be receptive to access in our own mind streams the blessings of all the Buddhas by means of the Guru to which we have this devotion. This is how devotion serves as the handler, the manager, the ability to access the path. It is what makes the path accessible. The Kadampa Lamas explained that it is devotion that is the root source of blessings. Why is that? Because it is by means of a devotion to the Guru that we are able to access, to open into receptivity of the blessings of all the Buddhas. And the way to actually access that, the path for making that accessible, is supplication. The supplication requires the devotion to be effective. The devotion is what makes us receptive to the blessings of all the Buddhas by means of the Guru to which we have the devotion.
다 무기 거래 슬람나 무기 진럽기 싸와래 이네 무기 그런 거래 삼나 이니 무기 기겨보 라마 상계수 통화서 같은 데 라마 공마성 무기 역시디 거래라나 무기 결보라오디 이니 라마라 상계 무기 두시게나 이 무기 겨보래서
So then what exactly is devotion? We've heard now that it's the root source of all blessings, but what is devotion per se? What is it referring to? Again, the Kadampa lamas are helpful in this respect, and they explain that the king of devotion, the high point of devotion, is seeing the Guru as Buddha. When we have the confidence that sees the Guru as Buddha, that is called the high point, the royalty, the highest king of devotion.
Hola. Di ta lama sangye su thonga di lama la sangye su thong tuwe di karsuguro. Lama gomba zu sungna nga zu simjen thamja ama yin samye dang lama sangye yin samye di niga chigwares kala kagwares. Tekwa chimbi simge kasu simjen thamja ama yin ba jengora. Di yang dine lamsang simla shara lola shara kala kagwado. Di nanshi dine lama sangye res ya di di chigware simla shara di hichi kya di tesu kagware suna da. Di yin dan dine 카고레스나다 망치와라 셰르마다 카셰라양 고정신기 랭게기양 요초그로 겨왕아마 곰발라테네 이네 망치와라 드니 만초라 통해야지 타말바 통과라 만초데 찍바 통과래 상계수 통과야 말아 어디 인자드니 만초 통 상계수 통해 매바제 상계 인삼에 대해서 깔아가보라 어디 인자 아니 아니 롱다르 바 망보지기 제바당네 아니 이제께와 제거다 이제께 다시 제거래 깔래가 보잖아 깔래가 보면은 레로 여보라 겨왕나마 곰베타로
This feature of seeing the Guru as Buddha is one that the lamas of old have stressed. They say that seeing the Guru as Buddha is similar to the instruction of seeing all beings as our mothers, which is prominent in the Mahayana in general. Both of these are similar in that it's very difficult to immediately hear the instruction and bring to mind the experience of all beings as our mothers, of the Guru as Buddha. They are similar in this respect because it's not something that, generally speaking, immediately leaps to mind. Developing confidence in that, clear knowing of the the Guru as Buddha or sentient beings as our mother is not, generally speaking, something that happens easily. For some, it does happen easily by force of familiarization and habit of previous lives. Immediately that sense arises. But for most of us, we see the guru as an ordinary person. And when we hear we should see the guru as the Buddha, it's a little bit difficult, which means that we need to engage in scriptures and reasonings again and again, repeatedly, in order to develop confidence and clear knowing. That's what happens if it's difficult to engender that view of the guru as Buddha right away. If we are able to do that right away, that's great. It's a sign of habituation from previous lives.
Hola, tiene que ser teniendo ngazo bebek la deni mugu seri chigni yore me badang gubas ta mugu seri chigni yo go de gartnam deni lama di yendin sange de nyamba kadin sange haba ni ta go re yendin sange de nyamba mo sange re kadin sange le haba sedi gasu 아니 그런도 상기 무슨 절마 두게 상기기 구 무슨 미기 통마 두게 상기기 송무에서 아니 나와게 퇴마 두게 뭐 딘데게 되네 탐을발라 되네 탐을베 숙스데 탐을베 숭제 아니 상기기 상기기 틀레 만솔라 경기어라 상기기 최 송네 아니 상기기 틀레 경기에서 teni kadin sangele lawara ngo sangye se ne ba inzang yenden sangye da nyabara di me sana yenden sangye da nyambe yenden thong chane deba da mebake kadin sangele lawa thong gone guibake mugu se di chigni di chagwara da
If we look at the word devotion in Tibetan, it's actually made up of two words. So the word for devotion in Tibetan, and maybe Zoba can write this in phonetics in the chat, is mögu, and is made up of two words, möpa and gupa. So these two words indicate what devotion is made up of. First, it is made up of the sense of the gurus being equal to the Buddha in excellent qualities. And second, it is made up of the gurus being greater even than the Buddha in their kindness to us. So in what respect do these two features relate to these two words and explain devotion? Well, the first of these, möpa, means reverence or respect. It relates to the fact that the guru is, in essence, the same as the Buddha in having equal excellent qualities of the Buddha. Then the second piece relates to gopa, which here we could say means appreciation or gratitude. This relates to the fact that the guru is even greater than the Buddha in their kindness. How so? We are not able to see the Buddha directly. We do not have the fortune to see the Buddha Shakyamuni directly, to see his form, his face. We do not have the ability to hear the teachings directly from his mouth and so forth. And yet, the guru makes it possible. By using ordinary speech that we can access, the guru makes it possible for us to connect with the enlightened activity of the Buddha by teaching the Buddha Dharma to us. In that way, the Buddha's kindness is exceeded by the guru, in that the guru makes the Buddha's teachings accessible. So these are the two features of devotion. seeing the guru as same in essence with the Buddha because they have equal excellent qualities gives rise to reverence and faith. Seeing that the guru is even greater than the Buddha in their kindness in making the Buddha Dharma accessible gives rise to gratitude and appreciation.
Chitang guru sadi lecture ki kela guru sadi tanda di jiwa pekela chik dagyurjina jiwa sadi kogre so chigo thawa di begi lota so gedne lama stirnara dagyurjine tanda dikirware jiwa sana karasana chigo thawa sana yenden chigo thawa yenden ki jiwa yang jiwa sadi yang kading ki jiwa nido di begi lota so gedne chik ni gyure la mas la sadi yenden ki jiwa yenden gongna meba 상계된 냠바로 라 세디 동나 고말라 고그로 디디 연딩기 지와데 보 로다와서 라 식디 샤바레 애니 거딩기 지와데 이게 식디라 베기 로다와서 마스는 아마로 심진 탐절라더니 아마기 부직번하신 저여레 디 차네더니 거딩기 지와데 친구여라 저는 베기 로다와서 라마스 그나레 디 지와 니디 친구여라 즉니디
If we look at the etymology of this word devotion or mugu in Tibetan, going back to the Sanskrit is guru. Guru in Sanskrit literally means heavy, to be weighty, to be very laden. So when the Tibetan translators examined this word literally from the words, they got this sense of weighty, laden, and heavy. And they translated it by the meaning rather than a literal translation of the words into mugu. How so? Well, what is exactly meant by weighty, heavy, or laden in the term guru in Sanskrit? It means heavy laden with excellent qualities on one hand, and heavy laden with kindness on the other hand. These are the two senses of the weightiness of guru. The guru is heavy laden with excellent qualities and with kindness. So the Tibetan translators turned that into two words. In Tibetan, the word for guru is Lama, two words that reflect this meaning of heavy laden. La literally means unsurpassed. It refers to the gurus being heavy laden with excellent qualities, such that there are none greater than those. That is the meaning of the Tibetan La and Lama. And then Ma refers to the feature of the guru as being heavy laden with kindness. Ma refers to mother. And it refers to the kindness of the guru that sees each and every sentient being as their only child. So the Ma refers to the guru's quality of being heavy laden with kindness. La refers to the guru's quality of being heavy laden with excellent qualities. And so this term guru was translated by the two terms Lama.
Hola, tiene cosas de la kadin amore yindin gongna meba am sangye de nyamba de la tene de thonga la tene meba ke kadin gongna meba amada dawa himba de sine kuiba ke lama da mugi ni de 차두고 차그래.
This feature of the guru as being heavy laden with excellent qualities, in other words, being equal to the Buddha in excellent qualities, referred to by the Tibetan La, is what we see and generate reverence. Seeing that the guru, the Lama, is equal to the Buddha in excellent qualities is what gives rise to reverence. Then seeing that the guru has no parallel in their great kindness, like an ideal mother, is what gives rise to immense gratitude. So there we can see that Lama and Mugu are related. There's a parallel in the terms used in the Tibetan.
어디 인디고스다 아니 무기 있어야 된다 dire. 아니 무기 될 때네 아니 선제 제나 아니 라마라 선제 제나 진랍 주그레스. 디 인디고스드네 선제지 진랍기 람레 무기디 진랍기 자와레스. 송바라.
So that is the meaning of the Tibetan mugu, translated usually into English as devotion, which is a reverent gratitude. Based on that reverent gratitude of devotion, we can then engage in the practice of supplication prayer. We supplicate the Lama through prayer with devotion as the basis. And this is how it is that supplication is the path for engaging the blessing of the guru, and devotion is the root source for being able to access that blessing.
Oh, that's similar to what you do. Then Sunday, the Chilab Gilam Ganis Chagre. The Dualegua. That's Sunday, Chilab Gilam Ganis Chagre. The Havel, Chilab Gare, the Hagora. Duanibalegua.
When we hear this, a question immediately leaps to mind, which is, how is it that supplication is the path, the approach to blessing? How does that come about? Well, in order to understand that, a second question leaps to mind. First, we have to understand what blessing is.
Hola. The Chilab said, Gare Lamnadini, Sangi Tilera. Then Sixendala Tukje and Lagre, Sangi Tukje, Sangi Chilab, Sangi Tile. Then Sangi Tile, number she shagre. Number C the girl, Sangi Tile, number needed, Sangila, Yutulgi. Wang to Jene, Shabare. Any Sangi Tile, number needy, Tujala Jutulgi on the Jene, Shabare. Or the Sangila, Yutulgi on the Jena, Sangi Tile, the Chilab than Tujazadi. Any Sangi Tuje than Chilabi, Rangshin Shuki Tuje. Takba Gungi took Jes, number Nishare, Mochiga, Tobatadera. The Rangshin Shuki took Jes, took J didn't Sangela, Rangshin Shuki, Rangshingi, Yore, Pena, Nimi Hoser or Esonda. Nima Hoser Meva Yamara. Or did Nima Yena Hoser Yebe Chavra? Didn't Nima Yus, just a young Hoser Yel, Betul Senda Jagomara? Nima Yetamgi Hoser Yora. 어디 인디더니 라마 여성기 상기 여성기 두제등 진랍이 예버려서 이 차네 랑신 슈기 두제에서 나 니바디 땅바 균기 독제를 성격이 독제디 삼삼 여바 삼삼 매바 말해. 뒤 균체 매바. 초의 균능시. 이 성격이 틀레지 성격을 유술기 원도지네 셔버라. 근데 요래서는 정신 수기 요래 님의 옷을 나시래서. 디양들이 뒤 균체 매바 요래 근데를 초의 균능시래서. 삼삼 충중 삼삼 진보 삼삼 매바 삼삼 여바들이 말해. 아니 예매기 개발 매바 최종기 개발 매바 뒤균도 요래 초의 균능신 뒤로다 유술기 원기 넘버 2 샤버래. 던다디 성계 틀려라. 성계를 여당 그래서 요래라 두고서 정신 수기 여바당 땅보 균도 여바.
Looking at this term blessing, what does blessing refer to? It refers to the enlightened activity of Buddhas, of Buddhahood. In other words, we could call blessing enlightened activity. We could call it the enlightened compassion or the enlightened mind of Buddhahood. These are all different ways of referring to blessing. And all of these can be described in 4 ways. 2 of those ways are from the perspective of how this blessing, this enlightened activity, great compassion, and enlightened mind is present from the perspective of Buddhahood. And the other 2 relate to how disciples, students are able to engage those. Looking at the first of those 2, how the blessings, enlightened mind, and activity of Buddhahood, the great compassion of Buddhahood are present. The ways they are present are 2 in number, the first of which can be called inherently existent. What does that mean, inherently existent? It's something that is embedded in Buddhahood itself. The example is like a sun and its rays. There's no such thing as a sun that shines without rays. Similarly, whenever there is a sun, the rays shine forth. There doesn't need to be an effort. There doesn't need to be any additional factor to make the rays shine forth. The rays are embedded. They are intrinsically present. Whenever the sun is present, there is the shining forth of the rays merely due to the presence of the sun. This is the first of the 2 aspects of blessings from the perspective of how they are present in Buddhahood. The second aspect of how they are present in Buddhahood is that the enlightened mind is always continuous. This means that it is not intermittent. It is continuous, like the flow of a stream or river. It doesn't stop and start. Moreover, it is also consistent. There aren't any ups or downs, ebbs or flows, times when this blessing of the enlightened activity of Buddhahood is present and times when it is not present, times when it is running high and times when it is running low. It is continuous, steady, and constant. This is the second feature of how blessings of the enlightened mind are present from the perspective of Buddhahood in a manner that is always continuous.
Hola. 다 디더버드네 상계기 tukjeda jinlap 상계라 랑신 슈기 여바 뒤긴체 매바 여바 디 둘자라 죽수기 원드제나 양 넘버니 여래서 죽당 넘버니 여래 죽당 넘버니 데 그래서나 둘자 뒤라 밥에 tuk제서 드니 직디 꿀싱 솔베 tuk제서 꿀싱 솔바서는 꿀마타바당 솔바타발로 되네죠 직디 둘자 둘라 밥에 두지 직디 솔바 마답나요 둘라 밥을 때는 주바 둘자 둘라 밥에 두지 소 이 둘자 둘라 밥에 두지세야디 당도 페이톤의 시세나 다디 둘자 둘라 밥아서나다 껴왕나마네 드네 선음 소사 몰람탑 드네 텐델 딕서여라 디인데네 세딜라 소와 마담나양 아니 껴왕나메 몰람당 레기 데부디 미야기 디셀라 밥지 드네 상게 틀레 주도라 디 둘자 둘라 밥에 두지 페도 사샤나 만도 모바일 나라 드네 와이파이 기 드네 가장 니만에 이해나 되네 그냥 사자 될 랩도 가서 람상 와이파이 주도 엑스카도라 디가르선 당분에 그냥 되나라 여러 이제 사자 될 랩도 그런 랑싱게 되네 주도다 그냥 서버드네 베들 제고메도 이제 찍어라 될 둘자 둘레 밥에 두지라
So this explains blessing, the enlightened mind or great compassion of Buddhahood from the perspective of how it's present in Buddhahood. The two aspects being its inherent existence, its embedded character, and its always continuous character. Then the other two aspects are from the perspective of how disciples of the Buddha are able to engage, to approach or contact that blessing, that enlightened mind. Those two aspects are with respect to the time having come for the student. So the first aspect is that the time is ripe for the student. And the second aspect is by means of supplication and exhortation, requesting. So looking at the first of these, the time being ripe for the student, this refers to one of the ways for engaging the blessings, the enlightened compassion of Buddhahood. And what does it refer to? It refers to a way of engaging the enlightened activity of Buddhahood, even without there being any supplication or requesting. We can understand it best by means of an example. So what it refers to is that in a previous life, due to having gathered great stores of merit, having made enormous numbers of aspiration and wishing prayers, having set up the auspicious connections for engaging the blessings of the enlightened mind of the Buddha, then in this life, even without supplication, the student, the disciple of engaging in their everyday activity immediately, spontaneously connects to the blessings, the enlightened mind of the Buddha. The example we can use to understand this is if we have a mobile phone, a cell phone, and we've connected to a Wi-Fi hub in some place in the past, and then we don't go there again for a long time. Whenever we go to that place again, as soon as we arrive, the mobile immediately connects to the Wi-Fi connection because the information for connecting is already present. There's no need to reconnect. There's no need to put in a new password. There's no new effort necessary. As soon as we arrive at that place where the Wi-Fi connection is embedded in the phone, it automatically connects. This is the example for the first of the aspects from the perspective of the student, that the time is ripe for engaging the blessing of Buddhahood.
Ore, kursin sobe, di da dulja dile babi tukje sedi. Da peshana, mado sormi chama yoro. Sormi chama di mi gugye dan guju gugu sebara. 이네 상계를 소화답니다. 이네 상계 소멸 군들의 표현에 되네 상계 소멸 정화를 쳐야 돼. 소멸 정화는 상계를 로마차 디중하러. 그래서 그래서는 교황아만에 아니 레드 몰람 기텐들 딕사러. 텐들디 레드 몰람디 두베기 뒤를 봐라. tinzadini kulishin solwa yomare hine kulje delo babe thujera de thile jugdo do pena khornga de sambula chachana yang chibara khornga de sambodi sangetala de che sunroji de pha do me do sangi chumden de sangetane ta nga che dangbo de sula dengu do de khornga de sambula dengu do sene sangi chumden de sa warana sile phera khornga de sambu jesu 코로나 대상부 상계 지에서 로메도 상계 코로나 대상부 지에서 돼도 그래서 가르라네 깨어나만에 레당 몰람기 텐델 딕사로 텐델 디 두베기 딜라 바우라 진데 소와 마담나야 틀레 주도거 꽤 디든 디더다 망보여라
We can see more examples of this first feature of engaging the blessings of the Buddha, the enlightened activity of Buddhahood, when the time is ripe. In the life story of the Buddha, we encounter the story of Angulimala. Angulimala was a serial murderer. He had killed 999 people when he encountered the Buddha. And rather than having the Buddha be the 1000th victim, he encountered the Buddha, became the student of a Buddha, and so forth. How did this happen? This happens on the force of karmic action, aspiration prayers, and auspicious connections set up in previous lives. When the time is ripe, when all of those auspicious connections, aspiration prayers, and karmic actions ripen in the precise time, the individual is able to engage the blessings of the enlightened activity of Buddhahood, even without supplication prayer, even without requesting. The time is ripe, the blessing of the Buddha automatically connects. We see it also in another feature of the life story of the Buddha Shakyamuni with respect to the 5 excellent disciples of the first retinue for the Buddha's teachings. The first teaching of the Buddha, the 4 truths of noble beings, of realized beings, were presented to this retinue of 5, this excellent retinue of 5. As soon as the Buddha was awakened and he was looking to whom he would present the first teaching, he went to Varanasi all the way on his own initiative to teach to the retinue of 5 excellent disciples. These 5 disciples at the time were not following the Buddha. They didn't have any particular interest in hearing from the Buddha. Yet, because the time was ripe for the karmic actions, aspiration prayers, and auspicious connections set up in a previous life to come forward, that right time enabled them to engage the blessings of the Buddha's enlightened activity, even without supplication, even without request. There are many, many examples of engaging in the Buddha's enlightened activity in this way, seemingly spontaneously when the time is ripe for previous karma, aspiration prayers, and auspicious connections to come forward.
Pugungagala amagi sewa danyam yore, nyering yomare. Ine pugu chikdi yangsa la dine doguduna. Ine amadi lamsang pugu di lenga dogure. Yangsa la dongen de la mixe tagire. Tigar san dila babara. 빌 바베 득지라 지당 득제 부궁가갈라더니 예링마바 요래디 이네 거스 바바디 양서라 규동에 부고들 믹스기 따기로 아마디 이제 둘자 둘라 바베 득제스나 디더버려서
Some texts present a everyday example for this way of engaging the blessings of Buddhahood when the time is ripe. And that example is of a mother who has 5 children. This is a very loving mother who has equal affection, equal care for all 5 children. The mother does not have any prejudice that puts one of the children ahead of any of the others. She loves them all equally. Nevertheless, if one of them wanders away and is on the edge of a cliff, of a precipice, the mother immediately goes to them and brings them back from the precipice, saves them. Why is that? Because the time is ripe. The time has come for the compassion and love of the mother to focus on that one child. This does not change the fact that she loves all 5 children equally without any prejudice that prioritizes one over another generally. Nevertheless, given a particular context, when there is a special need that one has and the others do not, the mother's love goes out to them.
그냥 꿀싱 솔베 득제세디 가서 빼자나라 빼그레샤를라나 드니 그나 아말라 부궁가이나 드니 부궁가이 나니 부구찌기 드니 세롱나 도고도고도 스네드니 무니 세롱나 칼라롱나 드니 아마디 부궁가가 레세와 던다 요레디 히네 수기 롱나 델라 되기라 디인데 가서 꿀싱 솔베 두제디 디더버려 했습니다. 능아서 모던 페샤나드는 가서 모바일 나 찍어라. 모바일 나라 키란드네 키랑기 모바일 나라 와이파이 커넥션 찍으면은 되네 키랑 와이파이 가리고도 되게 아니 디 넘버 데 룩 되네 조인제나 되네 키랑 커넥트 차기라. 꿀싱 솔와 솔베 투제스나 이 모바일 네 와이파이 되기랑게 모바일 나더니 모바일 나 레용도 어디로 꿀싱 솔베 투제스야 돼 디도래 근데 텐델 설도 되고 그랬다 진랍 주에게 텐델 설도 되고 그래
And turning to the second aspect of engaging the enlightened activity, the blessing of Buddhahood from the perspective of disciples, this refers to supplicating and requesting as a means for engaging that blessing. We can return again to the example of the loving mother with 5 children. Even though the mother loves all 5 children equally, if one of them becomes especially hungry and cries out for food, they are crying to be fed, then the mother, of course, will give the food to the one that is in need and crying out for food because they are asking for food to be fed. Similarly, we can look at our example of the mobile phone and the Wi-Fi connection. If we go to a place where we haven't ever been before, we need to go into our mobile phone and put in a request to connect to the Wi-Fi connection and the appropriate ways to connect with that, the password and so forth. And this is like requesting a connection to be made. Once we make that connection, then the Wi-Fi automatically flows through. So whether we use the example of the Wi-Fi connection on the mobile phone or the child begging for food from the mother, it's an example of first setting up an auspicious connection, a synchronicity by means of requesting or supplicating. So the second way of engaging the blessing of Buddhahood requires a development of a auspicious connection newly by means of requesting or supplicating.
All the Tujin number Shidwa. In an answer, then the Kapsudi, Shibadre, Kulising Solve Tuji said. Tujala Chukdang Ni even an Nibadra. Spangela Yeve Tuji, Ramsi Shugi Yabadam, Tawa Gunmi Sheva Yabadi. Any Nanzola, Chuksul number Ni even Nangni, Niba. Kulising Solve Tuji. So at Balatene. Mugi Wangi, so at Balatene Chugura. Mugu Minna so at Jumara. Karsana Sunday the Kelvin Zinra. Kelvin Shannon the Jilaka Sugar. In the Mugudi, Chinabitaware Laguedira. Mugu Meba Solatamna the Sunday the Kelvinra. Zimara.
Our context in these teachings relates to the fourth aspect just explained, supplicating and requesting, or you could say invoking and supplicating the Guru. Of the four aspects related to blessings of the enlightened activity of Buddhahood, this is the second of the two aspects from the perspective of the disciple. It is the means for engaging the two aspects of blessing from the perspective of Buddhahood itself. The fact that that enlightened activity is spontaneously present, embedded in Buddhahood itself, and that it is always continuous. We access these two features of blessing by means of invoking and supplicating, which is the second feature from the perspective of disciples. And to supplicate, the root source is devotion. Without devotion, there is no way to actually engage in supplication. We could be saying the words, but that is not an authentic supplication. It is a semblance or fake supplication if devotion is absent, because devotion is the very root. It's what makes supplication effective, what actually allows us to access the blessing, to be receptive of the blessing. Without it, without devotion, the supplication is not actually effective.
All that the Chilap and Chilap Garim Badi Hago because of the Sundip the Chilap Gilam in Sudi, the Sevadua. That Chilap Sundip Chilap Gilam in Tankari, Sevajons Mada. Chilap Gare Hagona, and Sundip Chilap Gilam in Sugare Badi Hagodua.
So by understanding blessing in this way, by really knowing what blessing is, we're able to also understand how it is that supplication is the path that allows us to access the blessings. Understanding blessing in this thorough way clearly shows us how it is that supplication is the way to engage that blessing. Understanding one, we're able to understand the other.
Then the don't get Sevatana, Sunday Jilab Gilam into the Sevasena. Then I'm going to Lama Gambe, Sunday Gilly, not the Lama Gambe, any got a Mingdela, Caso, Lama Gambe, Sunday Mugi Ningi Serdep Segda. Tell a Lama Gambe, Sunday Mugi Ningi Serdep, Sixumda, Chasumda, Cheshesumda. Digi sebuting gore. So the person Lama Gangwedi Suljep said the Torah Mare. Suljep said the Torah, Suljep Gandis Jigorasana, Lama Gangwe, so at the Turadi. So a Gandista Gorasana, Lama Gangwe. Lama Tarumbo, you know, Kishukchum Gavara. Then Kishukchum Gavnadine, so at the Vara. The Lama Kyangbu said, so at the Pulshigare. Lama Kyangrumbo, you got it, Kishukchumbo, then so at the Vare. This bit of so at the Digi Chile, Karelana, Mugu Ningi, Sadip Sumra. Till of the Mugu Ningi Sadipsana Ningla Sergava Nashi Sumra Mare. Throwashigara. Ningla Sergava Nashi Ladu Tandaniera. Ningla Sergava Nashi said Narangla Dungalie. Then it Dungal Dele Tundugi, the Bashukchimbo Yabadi, Ningi Serra. Dele Kyop Tukin did Lama Kunaimba, Yeshe era. The Lama Dembe, Denshuk Lama Dembe Dembash. Any Nyamyong Shukchimbo Yabadi, young Ningi Serra. The Labdida, Sundip Mugi did over Latene Yungara. Sundip Gigudi Mugudira. The Labdida Mugi Dilatine, Sundip Yungore, Soldier Latine, young Mugi Pilgor. Soldier Dingi, young Mugi Pilgora. The Soldier Latine, Ningi Ser, the Shukcher Dogre. Ningi Ser de Latine, young Mugi, and Sundip young Shukcher Dogre. Sundip the Mugi, Fencing Dundes Dogre.
To understand that even more clearly, this relationship between supplication itself and how it serves as the way to engage the blessings of the enlightened activity of Buddhahood, we can look at the very name of the prayer. And Zopa, maybe we can put the beginning of the prayer on the shared screen. So if we examine the name of this particular prayer, it's a prayer, a supplication for calling the Guru from afar, called devotion that pierces the heart. So why is this relevant? If we look at this title, there are three critical phrases here. There's supplication, there is calling the Guru from afar, and there is devotion that pierces my heart. So why are these relevant? Well, the main feature here is the word supplication. Supplication is the approach, the path to actually engaging the blessing. But then how do we supplicate? That is referred to in the second phrase, calling the Guru from afar. So if the Guru is very, very far away, we shout with a very deep, strong voice. We supplicate very strongly so the Guru from afar can hear us. This is describing the way that we're offering the supplication. It's a supplication that's offered with a strong voice and high volume. Then what is the function of a supplication that's proffered in this way of calling the Guru from afar? The function is that it gives rise to the third phrase, devotion that pierces my heart. What that means is that devotion is like a thorn that is piercing the heart. This is referring to the strong feeling, the sensation evoked by supplicating the Guru from afar in this way. That is the meaning of the phrase, devotion that pierces my heart. So looking at that phrase a little further, there are two ways that devotion is piercing our heart, almost like a thorn in the heart. One is the sense of being in a state of suffering, which pierces the heart. When we suffer, we have a sense of our heart being pierced, like being against a thorn in the heart. And the second is that supplicating to the Guru, knowing that the Guru alone is able to help us in this state, is also like a thorn piercing the heart. So in this way, we develop the experience that recollects the Guru that is as sharp as a thorn in the heart. In this way, what happens? The cause of the supplication, the root cause, is devotion. The devotion is what leads to the supplication. But then the supplication, recognizing that the Guru is what is able to alleviate our circumstance, folds back and further encourages the devotion to develop. So the devotion is what is the cause of the supplication. The supplication actually further increases the devotion. The devotion makes that sharp sensation of the thorn in the heart grow stronger. It makes the supplication grow stronger. It makes the devotion grow stronger. They each reinforce one another.
Lama Kyangbe ki Sundep Dini Mugi Ningi Sadep Sadi Dundadi Dadung Savashina Dini Tame Sundep Jidwa Tama Sundep Jidwa Sowa Depso Lama Rumboche Dungwe Budu Dinjin Chugiji Kalme Dala Resa Kyole Me Siksum Dwa Siksum Jigidini Be Sabutingre Sundep Tama de
Dare.
Lare. Di Chik Dambusum Digidini, Lama Kyangbe said Chikdi. Lama Kyangbe Sundep Mugi Ningi Serdep said any Mingi Cheshe Sumdo. Cheshe Sumdi, any Dundadi didn't journey from Ladana, pay Savoyore.
So if we turn to the very last supplication in this text called Devotion That Pierces My Heart, a supplication for calling the Guru from afar, we can apply these three phrases of the title to understand even more clearly their significance in the context of this very last supplication. So Lama Zopa has shared the last verse of this text, which is the supplication of calling the Guru from afar. It reads, "Precious Guru, I supplicate you, kind Lord of Dharma, I cry out to you with longing. Unworthy as I am, you are my only hope. Bless me that your mind and mine merge as one." If we apply the three phrases of the title to this, then we're able to really see the significance very clearly.
Las. Dinala Dini, Solwa Depso, Lama Rimbochi, Dungwe Budu, Dinjin Chugijes. Swedi, that Lama Rimbochi, Dinjin Chugijes, Dunda Chibara. Dinjin Chugije, Lama Rimbochi. La Soatabgins, like the Sandip Shagara. So Gandis Tabgis and Dungwe Budu. Lama Kyangbe said 60 Tengdo. Mugu Dungshu Dobugone, get Chimpe Bernard in sort of years. In the Dungwe Budo said it. Lama Kyangbe said 60 Legidor. Lama Kyangbe to the sort of years. Karjane Lama Kalme Dala, Resa Kule me. Like that. Tigi Mugu Ningi Serdet said, Della Tengidwa. Dig Tengidwa.
So looking again at that last verse of the prayer and how it relates to the three phrases of the title of the text. Mama Zopa, if you could share the verse again. We can see that there are parallels within the verse. This is a common method for poetics in Tibetan. And in this prayer, you can see that it says, precious guru in the first line, and then it says, a kind Lord of Dharma. These two are in parallel. And oh, thank goodness, the English is actually in parallel. So you can see that the first two lines are beginning with two terms that are synonymous. Precious guru is the kind Lord of Dharma. That is the guru to which we are supplicating. And then the end of those two lines are also in parallel. I supplicate you, parallels, I cry out to you with longing. I supplicate you refers to the way to engage the blessing of the guru. And I cry out to you with longing refers to how that is done. Calling the guru from afar with longing in a loud and resounding voice. Then the third line explains why we are doing that. It's explaining that by saying, unworthy as I am, you are my only hope. It is expressing that the supplication is one that comes from the depths of our heart, as if it is pierced by a thorn, because we see the Guru as our only hope.
Hola. Tiendida. Hola. Di. Ta thamadi dini sik sumpa dini kalme dala resa khile me sungedi. Ta kalme dala sedi kalwa me basna pena dada devi negapsu dini sangi mangbo jidin kamla peyore. Disu sangma jeye ki kalwa chungyo mare ngasola. Disu ki loma gyure ki kalwa chungyo mare. Di chane kalme ro. Dini dadi negapsu yang cho juna sangi changju sumpa padu meba shugyo. Disu ngaransu miki chal tuku mare. Disu ki sung nawa ki che tuku mare. Kalme ro. Odin zadini dito kalwa meba dala. Disu sangma ki tile jugwe gogap nangkendi kirare lama. Tene lama kirangi shal jal kirangi sung chebala tene eni sangi disu sangma ki sung chebada chibare. Sangi disu ki shal jalwada chibba chungre. Tene tane kalme dala. Se kalwa mebadi misul tene rawa.
You're muted, Yeshe.
If you would put the verse back on the screen. So if we continue to look at the verse, we can get even more understanding of what's happening here. The verse begins in the third line as, with the phrase unworthy as I am. The Tibetan could also be translated as unfortunate, without merit, and so forth. So what does this mean, unworthy, unfortunate, or lacking merit? This refers to the fact that to this day, there have been many Buddhas that have appeared in the world, and yet we are unworthy, unfortunate, unmeritorious in not having encountered them. Similarly, even now, in the 10 directions, there are countless Buddhas, yet our eyes are not able to perceive them, our ears are not able to hear their speech, and so forth. This is what is meant by unworthy or unfortunate in this line. And it's saying that it is, when it says, you are my only hope, it is referring to the fact that it is only through the Guru that we are able to engage the enlightened activity of Buddhahood. The opportunity is offered, the one who has the opportunity to serve as a conduit that connects us to the enlightened activity of Buddhahood is the Guru. They are what allows us to connect to the teachings, the speech of the Buddha, that enables to actually vividly experience their presence. It is only the Guru that is able to do that. In that way, they are the same as the Buddha in being able to allow us access to the teachings and presence of the Guru. This is the significance of this third line, unworthy as I am, you are my only hope.
Hola. Ta yang kalme dagla se de yang gochi dundaji garding gorlana pena lama di dön la sangera sangi kushi dangni re ngoni gu chigi gu longju zobe gu tulbe gu kushi dangni sangere inna yang ngarangi lama ngoni gu imbayan chaltugu ya mare Lama chigi gu imbayan chaltugu ya mare Lama longju zobe gu imbayan chaltugu ya mare Lama tulbe gu nana da tulbe gu mangbo yore dinani chogi tulbe gu imbayan chaltugu ya mare nga ine tamalba jalgu are tamalba nga zo de chigba jalgu are I chanayin kalwa me barawa kalmera Lama ngoni gu jal mituba de garare lana nga zo le shirib yora 시제디바 인자들은 나도 시제디베 드립네 라마 ngo니고 임바당 취기고 임바 잘투기요 말에 녀몽베 디베 드립네 아니 라마 롱조도베고 임바 잘투기요 말에 되니 디바숨바데 레기 디바라 아니 레기 디베 드립네 라마 초기 두베고 임바양 잘투기요 말에 디인데 가서 되네 라마 타말 받지 뭐 자고 알아 나도 난도도 집어 디찬에양 아니 라마의 정신 상계임에 젊은 것이 깔와매 봐라 깔매 달라 써야 되리라 근데 지금 이거 거래
Looking again at that third line, the third line, which here says unworthy as I am, can be understood in different ways. One way of understanding that is that the Guru is actually the Buddha. The Buddha is the embodiment of the four kayas of the Buddha. Kayas means body in the sense of not a physical body, but the experience of Buddhahood. So the four kayas of the Buddhahood are the essence kaya, the dharma kaya, the sambhoga kaya, and the nirmana kaya. even though the guru is the embodiment of the 4 kayas of Buddhahood, we're not able to vividly experience them in this way. We do not perceive the guru as any of these 4 kayas. For example, the Nirmanakaya, which means incarnation body, has many different kinds. And the supreme Nirmanakaya, the supreme incarnation, is the incarnation of a Buddha such as Shakyamuni. But we do not perceive the guru in the form of the supreme incarnation. We see the guru as ordinary, just like us. This is another reason why we are unworthy or unfortunate in this way. So the way Drupon Khenpo is explaining this commentary on, I think unfortunate is a better translation for this term. We lack the fortune, the karmic disposition to be able to perceive the guru just as they are, the embodiment of the 4 kayas of Buddhahood. And why is that? This relates to what are called 3 obscurations. Due to the cognitive obscurations being obscured by them, we are unable to vividly experience the guru as the essence kaya or as the dharma kaya. Due to the klesha obscurations, we are unable to vividly experience the guru as the sambhoga kaya, the kaya of complete enjoyment. And due to karmic obscurations, the 3rd obscuration, we are not able to vividly experience the guru as the supreme incarnation body, Nirmanakaya. Instead, we perceive the guru as an ordinary being, just like us. And this is one meaning of the phrase, unfortunate or unworthy as I am.
All of the kalme dala ashib digi. So any kalme dala said sick digi the Musu any kalme dala ashib sick digi the Lama Kyang Tarimbo, not Lama Kyang Be Segda. Any Lama Kyang Be said Lama Kyang Tarimbo, Keshigara. Lama Kyang Tarimbo, the chick physically and ingredient, so they got Lama mentally. Tarimbo, Keshigara. Lama Trilla Yanang and the Tarimbora. Shije debate, Newman debate, leg debate, Lama the Monu Guchel Metu, Chuguchel Metu, Longuchel Metu, Tuguchel Metu, Dele Tarimbo Carriere. The Anthony Lama Gang said, Gang said the Gang Tarimbora. The Kalme Dala Shivi, Shugla, Gartingolan, Lama Gang Tarimbo in body. Tingor Musu Shugla Garting Lamnadini Lamadi Kadin Sangit Mar Yendin Sangit and Yambadi Tingido. Tindi Tish Delatin Lama Gantarimbo in body Hagudo. Tijan Lama Gang said so the physical Shigomara, Lama Gangrumbo said. Tell us some of the Lama Gantarimbo, Lama Chilla and Tarimbo.
Looking further at this phrase, unworthy as I am, unfortunate as I am, what it means directly relates to this description of the kind of supplication, calling the guru from afar. So when we say calling the guru from afar, it's the literal sense is that the guru is at a very long distance away from us. And we could understand that in a physical sense, the guru is physically located at a very long distance away from us. But principally, what this is referring to is that mentally, the guru is at a very long distance away from us. So if the guru is mentally at a long distance away from us, then the enlightened activity of the guru is also at a very long distance away from us. And how can we understand that? Well, due to the obscurations present to mind, the cognitive obscurations, the klesha obscurations, the karma obscurations, we are not able to vividly experience the guru as the essence kaya, as the dharma kaya, the sambhoga kaya, or the nirmana kaya of Buddhahood. What can be further than that? There's nothing farther away than not seeing the guru as they are. This is what is meant by the phrase, calling the guru from afar. And that is also implicit in the phrase, unworthy as I am. The phrase is indirectly referring to the fact that we are mentally at a great distance from the guru. Another way to understand that phrase is that unworthy as I am is indirectly related to the fact of seeing the guru as equal in excellent qualities to Buddha. This is another way of understanding the great distance of the guru to us mentally. So principally, it's not a physical distance that's being invoked here. It's referring to the mental distance we have to the guru, and even greater, the great distance to the guru's enlightened activity.
Allah. Tiene da resa kileme sedi. Any ngado kadin sangire lama di kadin sangire lawa imbadi tingoro. Tini ngaranso ngonigu chegigu chogi tubeku chalma thupchingi kansala ngaranso dan kalwa nyambe sukten sung ani sungjen balatene sangi thinde 죽토바 죽베드니 고갑체바로 어디 제단드니 거딘 성계를 하고 와서 디엔디드니 레사킬레메 세디 근젠데로 타멀베 숙스나오에 라마 키랑레 셴두기르베드니 레사메도스 디지리가서 거딘 성계를 하고 있는데 된 거로
And then turning to the phrase in that last verse that reads, "You are my only hope." What is this referring to? This refers to the quality of the guru as being even greater in kindness than the Buddha. Why is that? Because those of us who are without the karmic disposition, without the fortune, unworthy to see the guru or to interact with the Dharmakaya, the Sambhogakaya, the supreme Nirmanakaya of Buddhahood. The guru is the one that opens the opportunity for our engaging in the enlightened activity of Buddhahood, despite our lacking the good fortune to do so directly. This is why it is said that the guru is even more kind than the Buddha. For those without the fortune to contact the Buddha in these kaya forms directly, the Guru opens the opportunity to engage the enlightened activity of Buddhahood nevertheless. So when it says, you are my only hope, it is literally saying there is no other place of solace for me than you. There's no other place for me to go for this solace, this hope of connecting with the enlightened activity of Buddhahood. This is why the Guru is kinder even than the Buddha.
Hola. Dine kalme dala resa kele mes chigni digi mugi tanda saboteng do. Lama di mo sange ani mo chane yinding chane sange de nyamba kading chane sange le lhawa imba di tanda niga tengi do. Kalme se digi ani lama den la sange imba tengi do. Resa kele me se di kadin sange le lhawa tham lhawa de tengi do. Di tanda di yabu hago na Then Namgyal Ngaranso Lama di Sange Mare Karajane Salana, then Tamalba Nanso the Chiboretu Ngaranso Namdo di Kigra. Mune Samlodana, Lama di Dini, Sange in Lama di Tamalpe Sux Namadi, Kadin Sange Hago Yendera, Genmara. The Nansuki di Gentawara, Mune Jidi di Yendendera. Kadin Sangil Hago in Deradi. Kasi Lama get Tamal with Suk Madena, didn't around to the Chuki Kalamido. Longuni Jeldu, but the end of Tamal with Suk Namadi, Lama in Derada, Tukji in Deradi, Tukji in Derada, Tukji than Top Kevi in Deradi. In a Nansugi, Lama Sange Maria Karajan and Tamalbanangi. In a Tamalba Nangna, Tamalba Imbi Kabayo Maro. Tamalba Nangue, the Lame Gen Mare, the Lame in Dendra, Nanti Genradi.
This third line, unworthy as I am, you are my only hope. I'm not going to get through, so I'm going to do my best. It is explaining very clearly what devotion means. The first half, unworthy as I am, relates to the aspect of a devotion that is reverence, seeing that the Guru is equal to the Buddha from the perspective of their essential character, from the perspective of their excellent qualities. And then the last part of that line, you are my only hope, relates to the aspect of devotion that is gratitude and appreciation, that the Guru serves as the means for us to contact Buddhahood, and in that way is even kinder than the Buddha. We see the Guru as ordinary. We see the Guru in the form of an ordinary person due to the hindrance of our own thoughts. This is not a fault of the Guru. This is our failing. It is our failing that we see the Guru as an ordinary being. But for the Guru themselves, it is an excellent quality. It is another example of how the Guru is kinder even than the Buddha. Unworthy as we are, we would be unable to engage with the Dharma, unable to engage with the enlightened activity of Buddhahood if the Guru appeared in anything other than an ordinary form. We would be unable to interact with them except for the fact that the Guru appears to us in an ordinary form. This is not a fault of the Guru. This is a sign of their great compassion, of the skillful means of the Guru that enables us to actually engage in the enlightened activity of Buddhahood. The fact that the Guru appears in an ordinary form necessarily means that they are even more kind than the Buddha. The fact that we see them in an ordinary form is our failing. It is their excellence.
Dini indi kaso dini ngaso lama gomdi kaso dini ngaso dorji changi nambala gome dang tamalbe nambala gome ni ani kare guguri es lauti kaso dini di pechana la songudwa di soso la ra legres soso yang tamalba nangkin ki lama de la tamalbe dushe kena dini dorji changi nambala gom gugures tamalbe dushe di baya chedo ine yang tamalbe lama tamalba nawa di kyun mayimba lama yenjen de tongtomna tamalba gomna 얘기를 했어 다도 그래서나 tamalba gom나 되니 라마 상계레 까진 학베 캐시디 통토 그랬거든 어디 인자더니 라마라 상계기 두시 께 두ken이나 되니 라마 단다 tamalbe 넘버 거리 나와디 gom나 다도 얘기를 했어 그잖아 양 라마라 tamalbe 두시 깨기도나 되니 도지 상계 넘버로 gom나 얘기를 했어 되니 라마 도지 상계 넘버로 gom바다 tamalbe 넘버로 gom바디 그래 얘기를 했으라나 소설을 알아 그랬어 소설은 뭐기 때문에나 다들 나만 탐을 배 넘버로 겁나 얘기를 해서 거다 그러려면 나마 상계를 가진 학회 개최의 통투 그래 세부통 그래 된 탐을 배 드시기에는 니 도지 상계 넘버로 겁나 얘기를 해서
The lamas of old have taught that whether we see the guru as an ordinary being, seeing the guru as an ordinary being has benefits in different respects. We can see the guru as an ordinary being and know that in essence they are inseparable from Vajradhara. Or we can see the guru as an ordinary being and thus be reminded that their kindness is greater still even than the Buddha's. And how we do that depends on our own particular disposition. Depending on our particular disposition, we can take on the understanding that despite appearing as an ordinary being, the guru is in essence Vajradhara, and that will enable us to continue to expand our view of the guru as Vajradhara. Or if we prefer, we can stay with the perception of the guru as an ordinary being, and that will allow us to strengthen our understanding of the feature of the guru as being kinder still than the Buddha, because their ordinary form in which they appear allows us to engage with them directly. So either way, we're able to engage with the enlightened mind of Buddhahood. We're able to habituate ourselves to actually contacting Buddhahood directly. And this comes too from the perception of the guru as an ordinary being. We can actually use that perception as is to strengthen our understanding of the kindness of the guru, or we can use it to understand that they are in essence a Vajradhara nevertheless. And this will depend on the stability of our devotion individually. Depending on where that stands, we're able to use the ordinary form of the guru in either way to develop further our understanding of the guru's great kindness, even compared to the Buddha, and to the understanding of the guru as inseparable from Vajradhara in essence.
이게 네 라마 경배기 선제 먹이 닝기 서대 시베 된다디 되네 도디 시버레 드링 대샤그레 대다로 최섬 제베 기회 사와디 랑신 섬진 톰 제기 귤라 되네 라마 상계스 통 거딘 상계를 하고를 시베 먹이 주마 많이 먹귤라게 텔라 되네 되네 나 라메기 람기 느릉도 귤 되네 세직 르직라 상계 고방토베 칼와 아니 칼와다 템바 귤베 치도 모아도 몰음기 참절 나와르슈
that completes an initial explanation of a supplication for calling the Guru from afar, known as devotion that pierces my heart. And we'll leave it there for today. Now, please gather together all of the roots of virtue that have come from this listening, contemplating the genuine Dharma, and dedicate them to ourselves and all beings in a similar situation, that we may all be able to see the Guru as equal to the Buddha in qualities, greater to the Buddha in kindness. And by giving rise to this in our own mind stream, we become we become a vessel for the indispensable path to the Guru, and we become worthy ones, fortunate to engage in connecting to Buddhahood by means of calling the Guru from afar. And please make the aspiration and dedication prayers that we be able to do so.
라스, 선이제요.
Good night. See you all tomorrow. So thank everyone. If the recorders will stop recording now.